Today we are inside the Apothecary with an in-depth look at the essential oil of orange. We are starting with this oil because it's one of my favorites. It's a great beginner oil that everybody loves. It blends well with a variety of other oils. It's uplifting and has a ton of beneficial uses. Plus it's summer, so who doesn't love citrus? In today's show, we're going to cover its origins, the names it goes by, ancient uses, its medicinal properties, characteristics to look for, as well as its overall uses, contraindications, and general cautions. Throughout the show, you will also learn how to use this oil, what to blend it with, and a little bit about its sister oils, Mandarin and Tangerine. I'm going to try my very best to make everything fun and light while giving you a ton of information. So grab your pencils, because here we go. The essential oil of orange is also known as sweet orange, wild orange, Portugal orange, Chinese orange, and even Japanese orange. This variety of orange is native to China and was exclusively cultivated, especially for places like California and Florida, and also around the Mediterranean with places like France, Italy, and Spain. Today, the expressed oil is mainly produced in Israel, Cyprus, Brazil, and North America, while the distilled oil mainly comes from the Mediterranean and in North America. This means that when you are looking at your labels, the oil should be identified by its Latin name, Citrus sinensis, and the most potent and therapeutic oil will be from these locations. Keep in mind that weather patterns, pollution, and natural disasters can have an impact on the production of oil, so it's very important to consider what is happening in the world at the time of your purchase. For example, if you're purchasing an essential oil from the store that happens to be produced in Florida, and let's say in the last 6 months that area got hit by a tornado, chances are that's probably not the most therapeutic oil that you could purchase. However, it might be perfectly fine to make your house smell good. It's said that the therapeutic value of the orange was first recognized in ancient China. There, the dried peel was used in Chinese medicine for the treatment of coughs, colds, anorexia, and even malignant breast sores. The rind of the bitter orange was considered of the greatest value medicinally, mainly because it stimulated the digestive system and relieved spasm. This is what it looks like. In 1498, the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama was on a very lengthy ship expedition and when his men became very ill. You may have heard this story. They had swollen hands and feet, very swollen gums, teeth so loose they couldn't chew their food, and the majority of the men on the voyage died. The remaining crew sailed to the port and obtained oranges. So it's written that within days of eating the oranges, the men regained their health. The condition they had was scurvy, very common for those days and occurs because of a vitamin C deficiency. It was common practice after that point to always have citrus on the ships. While this shows the benefit of the orange itself, it's important that you note that essential oil of orange does not contain any vitamins and no vitamin C. In 18th century Europe, oranges gained a reputation for alleviating nervous disorders, heart problems, colic, asthma, and even melancholy. As the orange spread across the world, different cultures used different parts of the orange for various remedies and nutritional properties. This even includes the flowers of the orange tree, which produce an essential oil called neroli. We're not going to discuss the essential oil of neroli here, even though it is directly connected, mainly because its properties are significantly different, and overall it's a more advanced oil. But it's important to note that it is a derivative. Today, you can find a variety of oranges in your local grocery store for their vitamin and nutritional benefit. You can also find that dried orange rind in the herbal section of your local health store for herbal remedies. Both of these have great nutritional remedy benefits, but warrant their own episode, so let's just focus on the essential oil. When cold pressed, you will find your essential oil to be a yellowy to orange or dark orange liquid with a sweet, fresh, fruity scent, richer than the distilled oil. So this blends well with lavender, neroli, lemon, clary sage, myrrh, and of course your spice oils, which are nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove. Just harmonious blends. When steam distilled, the oil oxidizes quickly, and so the color is usually a pale yellow or almost a colorless liquid. It's still sweet, light fruity scent, but it has little tenacity. So if you want to look closely, this is an example of what your oil should look like. When it comes to medicinal properties, the essential oil of orange is extremely valuable. It is said to be, ready, anti-tumoral. It's a relaxant. It's an anticoagulant, a circulatory stimulant. It's antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. I mean, we need all of that today. An antidepressant, also needed today. It's an anti-inflammatory and even an antiseptic. This is an incredible oil. It's rich in limonene, which has been extensively studied, over 50 clinical studies, for its ability to combat tumor growth and boost the immune system. And that's not exclusive to orange. That's its sister oils, the tangerine and mandarin, as well. It really boasts an amazing compound. In aromatherapy, most commonly, we consider sweet orange a wonderfully uplifting and calming scent. If you have a bottle in front of you, just take a second to truly smell it. I have a variety of different companies displayed here. They are all equally wonderful. They share the same essence, so just take a second, close your eyes, and really inhale that smell. It is just pure joy in a bottle. When you diffuse this oil, it can help with nervous tension, anxiety, stress, sadness. It'll improve the aroma of a stale room. I mean, it can even help support normal function of your immune system and provide emotional balance. So, I want to talk about some of the other uses for this oil. Based on ancient therapies and historical uses, even current holistic and aromatherapy applications, the essential oil of orange is most commonly used for depression, boosting immunity, arteriosclerosis, hypertension, cancer, huge on insomnia. We use it topically for dull and oily complexion, fluid retention, and even wrinkles. A 1995 Miami University study found that diffused citrus boosted immunity, induced relaxation, and reduced depression. This applies to the tangerine and mandarin as well. So let's touch on these sister oils for just a second. I decided to include these two oils in this discussion because they are so closely related that it really made no sense for me to do a separate episode on them. There are some variations in usage, but their chemical composition and general makeup are so similar that I decided to include them here. So let's talk about mandarin first. Mandarin, also known as European mandarin or true mandarin, is known by the Latin name Citrus reticulata, and it is native to southern China and the Far East. It was brought to Europe in 1805 and then to America 40 years later, where it was crossbred and then renamed the tangerine. Renamed. Okay. The mandarin is produced mainly in Italy, Spain, Algeria, Cyprus, Greece, the Middle East, and Brazil. The name mandarin actually comes from the fruit, which was a traditional gift to the imperial Chinese officers named the mandarins. Get that? According to French aromatherapists, mandarin essential oil is regarded as a safe children's remedy for indigestion and hiccups. They also use it for the elderly since it helps strengthen the digestive function and the liver. Mandarin oil is most commonly cold pressed from the peel and has a secondary oil that is created by steam distillation from the leaves and twigs, and this is known as petted grain. Again, this is a significantly different oil and overall more advanced, so I just want to mention it because it's related, but we're going to not focus on it. Unlike the essential oil of orange, mandarin oil is a totally different color. Mandarin oil is a yellow to orange liquid, and it's got a slightly like blue violet hint of color in it, and it has an intensely sweet, almost floral citrus scent, and it blends amazingly well with other citrus oils like neroli, spicy oils like nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove. So take a second to really breathe that in, and then try comparing it to orange. They are distinctly different. When it comes to the medicinal properties, the essential oil of mandarin is said to be a light anti-spasmodic, a digestive tonic. It's antifungal. It stimulates the gallbladder. In aromatherapy, we use it primarily to promote happiness, but we also use it to tackle issues such as digestive problems, fluid retention, insomnia, anxiety. We use it for intestinal problems, skin issues, especially like dry, oily skin, scars, or acne, stretch marks. Well, with stretch marks, you have to combine it with another oil like lavender, sandalwood, jasmine, even frankincense. But you'll recognize that a few of those were the same as the essential oil of orange. So there's that similarity, and that's why they're sister oils. Next one is tangerine. So tangerine has the same Latin name as mandarin. And the reason being is because it was, remember, renamed. So mandarin is what we have in Europe. Tangerine is what we call it in America. It is a slight hybrid, and the fruit looks a little bit different, and it tastes somewhat different. Scent-wise, they're very similar. Tangerine tends to be a little bit lighter in scent. So when you are at the store looking at the label, you'll actually have to rely on the Latin names and the common names to make sure that you have the correct oil. Take a second to notice the visual difference in the color of the oil. Tangerine is almost translucent. It's very light. It's not as thick of an oil as mandarin. Mandarin's got that really dark color. And if you actually put orange, mandarin, and tangerine together in comparison in color, you're going to notice that it actually fades from light to dark, which is kind of interesting. And then scent-wise, you really have to take a second and close your eyes and live with each scent to identify its subtle differences. And they are very subtle, but they are there. While tangerine does have the same origin as both mandarin and orange, it's mainly produced in Texas, Florida, California, and Guinea. So look for those locations when you're looking at your labels. So according to Chinese medicine, an old-time remedy was to chew the rind of the tangerine to freshen your breath after eating things like garlic or onions. I mean, today we use parsley, we use lemon. Back then it was the orange rind, tangerine rind, sorry. The tangerine tree leaves were made into a tea to soothe the digestive tract and to help the body prepare for sleep. The juice of the tangerines has been a remedy to remove uric acid from the body for centuries. And the idea is you consume 3 glasses, large glasses of juice in one day for multiple days to flush the system. Like its sister oils, tangerine oil is cold pressed from the rind. It's said to be anti-tumoral as well. It's also a relaxant. It's an anti-spasmodic, a digestive aid, and a great circulatory enhancer. In aromatherapy, again, we use it to promote happiness, to calm and aid with anxiety and nervousness, but we also use it to tackle issues like obesity, anxiety, insomnia, irritability, lung health, learning and memory support, great for Alzheimer's, liver problems, digestive issues, parasites, and even fluid retention. So recognize some of those are the same from the sister oils. So we can see how these oils differ and where they share commonality and why they're sometimes interchangeably used. One thing that they do share in common is their caution factor. You may have heard me mention in previous episodes that many citrus oils are considered phototoxic or cause a photosensitive reaction from sun exposure. Yet, surprisingly enough, sweet orange is considered to be a safe oil. This is because it contains very little of the natural occurring bergaptine in the oil. It's actually less than like 0.00005%. I mean, it's really low. According to the research reported in Tisserand and Young's book, Essential Oil Safety, the following citrus oils are not phototoxic: mandarin, wild orange, sweet orange, and tangerine. However, I believe it depends entirely upon where your oil comes from and how it's extracted. So for complete safety, if it doesn't say on the label, always use sunscreen if you use these oils topically. It's just better safe than sorry. So now that you've learned a ton of factual information on these 3 awesome oils, let's talk about some of the ways that you can use these in your own home. And we're going to start with something small and simple, but before we do, I want you to actually do a patch test to make sure that you have no adverse reaction to the oil. If you're not sure how to do that, visit Introduction to Oils and there's a complete description there. So we're going to start with diffusion. Whether you were using an ultrasonic essential oil diffuser or a nebulizer, these oils can be diffused into the air. If you diffuse orange, you would use it to aid with stress, anxiety, or nervousness. You would diffuse mandarin or orange to battle insomnia or provide overall emotional balance. Diffuse tangerine to aid with sadness and irritability. To diffuse oils, you will add 5 to 10 drops of your selected oil into a standard size diffuser, and then run it for 1 hour, about 3 times daily for maximum benefit. If you're using the nebulizer, you can just put the entire bottle to it, attach it, and let it run. Okay, topical application. First of all, you're going to need to make a blend. So you're going to take 3 to 5 drops of whichever oil you've chosen here, but let's say orange, to about a 1/4 teaspoon of a carrier oil. Again, carrier oil can be vegetable oil, it can be almond oil, coconut oil, whatever it is that you're using. And we're going to basically apply this mixture for immune support. You would apply that to the bottoms of the feet for immune support. For menopausal support, anxiety or nervousness, you're going to apply that blend to the pulse points. And pulse points are the areas where you find your heartbeat. Mandarin blend is great for digestive issues. You'd apply it to the stomach and the lower abdomen topically. Tangerine's excellent for achy and fatigued muscles and limbs, including arthritis pain. So you're going to apply that blend directly to the affected area. Now keep in mind, we're not doing blends here, so some of your natural remedies might require more of a boost. So a lot of the times when you're looking at remedies for muscle aches or for arthritis, you're going to find that there's a ton of ingredients in there, and that's because you were tackling multiple things, not just pain and not just swelling and not just irritation and inflammation. We're talking about a perfectly balanced compound that's going to tackle all the issues involved in, say, arthritic pain. So when you try these oils out, keep that in mind. You're right now learning to use one oil with a specific application. So while you're going to get both emotional and physical support from it, it's a natural remedy. It's not going to fix you overnight, and you want to make sure that you are realizing that. You're going to get relief in some way, but it might not be entire relief because you may need additional ingredients in that mix. So please keep that in mind. Another great way to get really good topical support is basically just to put a drop of your blend into the palm of your hands. You're going to rub your hands together, cup your nose and mouth, and do a direct inhale. Really deep into the lungs 3 or 4 times. This affects both the brain, it alleviates lung issues, it gets all up into your system, and it's an excellent way to get essential oils in and get immediate results. So now, keep in mind these are potent basic remedies, like I said, but chronic conditions are going to need more than just one oil. So, okay, so let's talk about around the house. You can add any of these oils to your homemade cleaners, or you can add them to a base oil to clean and refresh wooden cabinets. That's a great one. You know, all those years of gunk that pile up on your cabinets from years of cooking, and it's sticky and nasty, it's hard to get off. This is a great little housekeeping tip. Essential oil of orange with a base oil like a vegetable oil or olive oil works great. Mix those together and you can actually use it to remove all that gunk off the cabinets and then apply it throughout your cabinets to give it more luster. It infuses the wood with oil, so it gives it a nice glow, and they're going to look like they've been rejuvenated. It's a great little household tidbit. As mentioned in previous shows, there are companies out there that advocate ingesting or cooking with essential oils. However, I'm looking at these from a therapeutic standpoint, and I don't support heating therapeutic oils. If you want to use orange in a recipe, just use an actual orange. And if you're having internal issues that warrant the ingestion of essential oils, just be sure you are aware of the contraindications and you are trained enough to do it yourself, because otherwise you want to turn to a healthcare professional or a holistic healer to aid you in the process. While it is considered a safe oil, if your child gets a hold of your essential oil bottle and consumes the bottle, it could potentially be hazardous to their health. So just make sure, for safety purposes, this is the safety caution tidbit, make sure your oils are out of reach from your pets and your children for that reason. So as you learn to use your oils more and more, you will find that there is a shared commonality, and the oils are generally interchangeable. So if you really only have one of the three, try them out for all the purposes we mentioned today. I mean, while one may be more suited for a certain condition than the other, they will all work in some way. And so it's worth dabbling and worth trying. So I'm going to turn it to you guys, the viewers now. I know there are some of you that have dabbled in oils. So if there is something that you use this particular essential oil for that I haven't mentioned today, put it into the comment section. Share it with us. How are you using it? Which oil is it? What is the result you're seeing? I am not a know-it-all by any means. I am simply sharing my knowledge and my years of education on the subject, and I want to provide you with as much as I possibly can. So don't be shy about sharing what you know. I may have missed something. I don't get it all. So help bring awareness and education to all of us. I know there's a ton of information, so I'm open. Use the comment section to share your experiences. I would love that. I know that this was a lot of information, and I really hope it was all helpful and insightful and gave you some sort of new courage to pursue and try at least one of these oils. And if you enjoyed today's session, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to check the description section. I do post helpful links and some valuable coupons on occasion in that section for you to use. So next time on Inside the Apothecary, we are going to examine the essential oils of lemon and lime, which are excellent complementary oils to the ones we discussed today, and they blend extremely well together. Remember, as you start to learn more about oils in general and you start adding to your collection, we're going to start discussing how to blend these oils together and ultimately create your own home remedies. I've designed this series to attach to each other, so every episode adds on to what you know, and those oils will complement the oils you already know about. So blending is going to become comfortable, and it's going to become easy as we move forward in this series. With more education comes more options. So Na zdraví, to good health, and I will see you next time.